Danielle La Porte, our guest, she has a new book, The Firestarter Sessions, which is about jump-starting your career, yes, or going in the right place to find the career, to figure out who you are, not who you tell people you are. That's really interesting. Like when you ask the question of yourself, who am I? Then you come up with that answer, and you think that's really not true, but it just sounds good. And I'm afraid other people will think I'm a loon if I really get to who I really am and let it out.
I think that clarity, the who am I question is so vast. I think you get there by asking yourself what you want. It's sort of the backdoor entry to your essential self. But I think your authenticity lives in your desires.
Sure. Well, Bruce Springsteen, he sang about, didn't he? I want the privilege to be myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a grind being a grown-up.
It's a grind being, yeah. You gotta sometimes, you know, I have this a spoken word piece called Decide to Rise, where you just say, you know, fear has got to move over. You gotta suck it up, you gotta push, show up full on, full out. And this is what it takes. This is the stuff it's the stuff of getting what you want.
Yes. So how do you teach people when to find their mojo when they've lost their mojo? They're just done. They're discontented, unhappy, in a tough relationship, in an awful job, wherever you might find yourself. How do you help people break out to actually make the move?
I think before you break out, you need to accept where you're at. It's a lot of self-compassion. This is part of life. I'm scared, I'm stuck, this is where I'm at. We need to give ourselves permission to have that ebb and flow with your mojo. It's like there are times to have writer's block. You know, being creative and on, you can't be that way all the time. You need, the ground has to be fallow sometimes.
Was it Neil Young who was talking to Charlie Rose about his muse?
Yeah.
And listening to the muse, and he said something like, you ignore the muse at your peril.
Yes, yes.
If you get the message, follow it.
That's right. You pull over to the side of the road,
Write
you
the
lock
lyrics.
yourself in the bathroom, you do whatever it takes to hear her. And my experience is the more you listen to her, the more she shows up. Like your muse is pretty righteous. She wants to be heard. She keeps showing up to you in dreams and in the shower to say, I got a new idea. Why don't you go this way? And if you keep ignoring her, that muscle is going to atrophy. You need to pull over to the side of the road.
And listen and write and do whatever. I know Anne Lamott, whose books I love, she always has note cards in her pocket or somewhere in the car, and whenever she gets an idea floats into the brain, she writes it down and follows it up. That too. It's one thing to have all the little notes. It's another thing to have the courage or the nerve to go there.
To execute. Yeah, my theory is just launch, just do it. I think almost any decision is better than no decision.
Right.
Perfectionism sometimes is really an excuse for procrastination. And even if you start something and you bomb, you're still further ahead. You'll have more friends, you'll have a few enemies, which are great for contrast. You're gonna know more people at the bank, you'll know what you're made of. Just stay in motion.
You write about, I think it was a Japanese businessman in here, and he always listens to his stomach.
Yeah. He considers a business deal, and if he digests the meal well, then the deal goes down. If the meal doesn't go down, then the deal doesn't go down. I think your body knows. I think you know. I think you know in the first 8 seconds. I call it the 8-second rule. You get the shape of someone's character. You know where you want it to go. The trick is you need to listen to what's there in someone's handshake and the energy that's between you. Just need to listen. That takes courage.
It does, to trust your gut.
Yep.
We've been taught not to.
Absolutely. Like you said, day one, out of the womb.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't feel that way. Oh, but I do, but I should.
But the lizard brain in the night, or the monkey brain, whatever you call that brain, that gives you all those silly messages in the night. How do you still it? Become one of the mad ones. Jack Kerouac and the mad ones like say, okay, I want to be free and happy and fulfilled.
Yeah. Well, you don't drink as much as Jack Kerouac.
That's true. Maybe I do. You don't know.
How do you say? I think you need, if you're going to be creative, you need to have a practice. And you need to figure out what that practice is for you. Sometimes, you know, your meditation is running. Sometimes it's sitting down with a great book in the morning. Sometimes it's, you know, a literal sitting practice. But you need to have some kind of touchstone ritual. You know, like another fantastic book, Twyla Tharp's Creative Habit, talks about putting yourself in the bubble and the discipline of creativity. Got to have rituals that just trigger your lizard brain and your higher self to say, I'm in that zone. I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it through. I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to be generous with what I've got.
However, if you are a logical TikTok person who only really knows how to live life by the rules,
Yeah.
how do you change up?
Maybe you don't.
Okay.
If you're logical TikTok and you're fulfilled and you're generally kind and at peace, you really feel like you're on it, go for TikTok.
Should you ask your friends?
Yeah. I think you should ask your friends who to date and where to invest your money.
Who to date, how to find a date, how to dump a date.
Your friends know, and like, let's qualify friends. These are people who make you feel alive and expanded and loved. They respect you. This is not about surveying people who just, you know, want to take a swipe at you. But yeah, I think you need that objectivity.
So your comrades, your cheerleaders, your soul bros, your tribe, really.
Got to have them. Got to have them. Get them on the bus before crisis strikes, and love them up. Be attentive. Again, be generous. Be thankful for the people in your life who will tell you the truth.
At your fire starter sessions, how have you seen people develop, emerge, change?
Yeah. They quit their jobs. They start businesses. They start belly dancing. Start doing pole. There's a lot of pole dancing that happens after you read the fire starter sessions.
For females.
Yeah.
Maybe the guys are pole dancing too. Who knew?
If that's your form of TikTok, do it. There's a permission that happens.
Right.
And there's two layers of permission. I'm going to want what I want, and I'm going to go for it.
So you're face forward, essentially. But what about purging the past? And you're not suggesting everybody dump their husband or their wife or their job.
No.
That's not what this is about.
No, I think you celebrate those things and see if they really fit the shape of who you are.
Okay, so you get to Holy Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of slightly crazy, grandiose. Steve Jobs, I didn't know him. I knew people who knew him, but it seemed he listened to his muse and found his path and walked down it, even in death.
Without apology. And this is something, you know, I call it integrity branding. And everybody a brand. Like whether you're working 9 to 5 for the government, or you're a school teacher, or you're an entrepreneur, you are clear in who you are, and you radiate that out. It's not about what have I got that's going to fit with the marketplace. It's like, who am I?
Yeah.
And how do I find my tribe?
Okay, we have a chapter in here called "Yup, You're a Brand."
Yes.
No matter how you shake it. So define yourself on your own terms, really.
This is, I think we buy into other people's definitions of success. You know, the American dream, the North American dream. Like, is your dream really your dream? Is it your mother's dream? Is it your rabbi's dream? Is it like something you adopted from reality television? Or is it like really something that's been with you for a while, or something that's current? So, you know, I talk a lot about dream analysis. Why do you want what you want? It's such a simple, potent question.
And it's okay to want what you want. I mean, unless you're a serial killer or something, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about the general healthy population.
General healthy population.
You have to want what you want.
And you visioneer. There's such a word as visioneering? Or is that one of those trendy
Made
pie
it
in
up.
the
I've heard
sky?
it's floating around. I'm sure I'm not the first person. Yeah.
Let's go visioneering.
Yeah.
But, you know, vision helps you go where you want to wind up.
Yeah, I think you do. You know, there's some imagination techniques. You're like, who would be, who's at the top of their game in your milieu? Whether it's like Oprah or Picasso, past, living, whatever. And if they were on your tribal council, what would they say to you? If they were your peers, what kind of information would they give to you? I think you need to kind of go to that high level, and then you come back down.
Yes, I interviewed Vincent Lam recently, a brilliant writer, and he wanted to write from the time he was 5. But his parents said, son, get a real job. So he's an emergency room physician and a best-selling author because he went back to writing, his true passion. He loves medicine too, but he loves to write.
Love those stories.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. The Firestarter Sessions, a soulful and practical guide to creating success on your own terms. Danielle La Porte.